Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. It's that time of year again where footballers' intelligence gets called into question when the nominations for their Player of the Year, the PFA Player of the Year, come out and you realise what a bunch of prats we've got playing in the Premier League making these votes. I'm sorry, not all. It's a bit like United's dressing room. Not everybody's toxic. But unfortunately, this happened last year and it's happened again. These people who vote for this award don't know ball. The PFA Player of the Year award nominations are out and Son and Trent are not in it. It's a bloody disgrace. You know what? You know when they're voting, what do they do? Is it like, oh, just tick anybody because I want to go and play FIFA or I want to get on the golf course? It's an absolute farce. I'm going to call it out. They're on big money to play football. At least have some knowledge of the game that you're playing. How many times have I said to you that Son is underappreciated? If Son wasn't South Korean and he was French or Brazilian, he would get. He would. If he was English, he'd definitely get in. It's almost like he just gets forgotten. Oh, he's a good player. Well done. Son should be nailed on in PFA Player of the Year nominations. He's not even made it into the six. It's Van Dijk, Kane, Mane, Ronaldo, Salah and Kevin De Bruyne. It's a farce. It's an absolute farce. And the players who voted collectively, you've outed yourself as genius in your feet, sawdust in your head. Absolute prats. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot justify this. It's not for me to justify, but I cannot logically even say it's marginal. I also think Trent Alexander-Arnold should be in there as well. How many assists has he got this season? But Son, bloody hell. Tell me I'm wrong about Son. How can Son not be in the top 6 PFA nominations? And this is voted for by players. I think journalists I'd have a pop at. Fans I'd have a pop at. But for the players not to put him in, I just think it's like they don't think. They don't think of him as a player or something like that. They're just like, he's joint top scorer. He's a winger and he's joint top scorer with Salah. He's had 30 goal involvements in the Premier League. 23 goals and 7 assists. Roy Keane. Harry Kane's had 27. Why is Harry Kane in there? Because he's bloody English, isn't he? It's Harry Kane. He plays for England. All 6 of the... sorry, by the way, I'm not... I will name them. Foden, Gallagher, Reece James, Ramsey, Saka, Smith Rowe. All 6 of the under-21 nominations are English as well. We've got a bloody English bias here. They're voting for their bloody mates. Like, Kane should not be in there ahead of Son. It's a joke. I'm sorry. I'm not happy about it. And also, I almost feel that the PFA award now is losing credibility because you cannot. All right, it's voted for their peers. It's voted for by prats. And I know a lot of footballers, and they're nice lads, but I don't know all of them. And look, you could have 10 people. 3 of them could be top clever blokes, and 7 of them could be prats. They're going to ruin the vote. And that's exactly what's happened here. An absolute farce. Son not even nominated by his peers for Premier League PFA Player of the Year. It makes a mockery of the award. I'm sorry. When I look back, I thought last year was bad. I think this is even worse. Poor guy. Not even in the top 6 nominees by the people who play with him. And I just think, because he's probably a little bit quiet and, he doesn't play for England. I'm just trying to figure out why not. I just think players have probably thought, I've got to nominate 6 people. I don't know whether they nominate their top 3, but you can just guarantee they've just completely forgotten about Son. As I said, I've said this before, I think he's massively underrated. I don't think he gets anywhere near the credit he did. If he played for England, if he was English or he was Brazilian or he was French, these traditional footballing powerhouses, and well, look, England's not a powerhouse, but we're very good at blowing our own trumpets. He would walk into it. But I think because he's South Korean, and fair play to Salah, I think sometimes Salah is underrated as well because he's Egyptian. They're not known as being big footballing powerhouses. They do get overlooked. But I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I'm not reading the room right here. But I think it's a bloody disgrace. It's a bloody disgrace, Scalzi. It's a bloody disgrace, Scalzi. Slow Sports News. I'm outraged. I'm going to throw my tie in the bin. I'm absolutely furious. Absolutely diabolical. Scooby-Doo. It's terrible. When I think about player of the year, I'm voting for Son. I'm not voting for Kane. It's about the player. It's not about your mates. It's about the player. It's about the structure. Son and Salah. Why is he not there? I am stunned. I'm winging it here a little bit, which is exactly what Son's been doing off the wing. He's been winging it. Gets them into top 4. 23 goals in the Premier League from the wing. He outscored Harry Kane. And he doesn't get bloody voted in, but Harry does. Kevin De Bruyne had a good season. I'd put him in. Who would you take out? Look, Van Dijk's had a good season. Son's in ahead of him for me. Kane's had a good season. Son's in ahead of him for me. De Bruyne and Salah and Son, they'd be my top 3. I'd put Ronaldo behind Son. And I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo should not be in there ahead of Son. Kane should not be in there ahead of Son. Van Dijk should not be in there ahead of Son. And I don't think Mane should be in there ahead of Son. I think, he's definitely... I don't know whether I'd give Player of the Year to Son. For me, there's 3 candidates. There's Salah, De Bruyne and Son. I mean, De Bruyne won it last year, and I don't think De Bruyne should have won it last year. I remember I moaned about it last year. I think, you know what it is? I think the vast majority of these players who are doing the vote, they can't be arsed. They probably don't watch a lot of football. They don't appreciate it. They get the money. They're living the lifestyle. The voting thing comes in. Oh, De Bruyne, everyone knows he's good. Salah's good. Oh, I like Harry. Harry's a good lad. Yeah, vote. Yeah, I don't think they analyse the game. Many of them. I don't. There will be some, but the majority have clearly not got a bloody clue. You've embarrassed yourselves. I'd be embarrassed. They won't be embarrassed. They won't be embarrassed. They're all on holiday now. They're all sipping pina coladas in the Speedos, having a great time. But the reality is, as a professional, you should be embarrassed collectively that Son is not in the top 6. You as players have voted this top 6 and you've not put Son in there. I'd be professionally embarrassed because it's exposed you as not knowing the game you're being paid to play. It's not right. It's not fair. And, it should be called out. It should be called out. That the only positive I can say is it's democratic. They've all put their vote in. But it's pratic because... You've exposed a lack of knowledge of the game that you're playing by not putting him in there. There is absolutely no part of me. There's absolutely no part of me that thinks, well, you know what? It's a vote. He's just missed out. It shouldn't even be close. He should be he should be competing for Player of the Year. He's not even made it into the top 6. 23 goals in the Premier League and 7 assists from a winger. That is an amazing effort in a team that actually... didn't start the season off very well as well. They've been a bit up and down. Yeah, I'll call out injustice when it happens, and that's an injustice. It's not right. It's not fair, and he's been absolutely robbed, to be fair. I do think Trent should have got in there as well, but Son, that's poor. That's really poor. So look, who's going to win it? I think, I'm going to give a little bit of a prediction for you now. Last year, Kevin De Bruyne won it because they're all bloody lazy, and they just went, well, De Bruyne's a good player. Salah's got to win it. Salah has to win it. He's got 23 goals and he had the most assists and the most goals. Salah's got to be PFA Player of the Year. If it goes to De Bruyne, these players look a bigger bunch of prats than they already did. It's got to be Salah. But you know what? I wouldn't be confident. It's nailed on Salah. He's got to win it when it's announced. But I would not be confident with these players' ability to read the game. It'd probably be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Harry Kane. Or De Bruyne, go with the easy option that you don't have a bloody clue what you're on about. But yeah, I'm absolutely stunned by that. Absolutely stunned by that. But then again, I'm not stunned because I just think this happens all the time. I think the PFA award is the most embarrassing award of the lot. The embarrassing award of the lot, because at least journalists tend to know the game that they're watching. Not all, but the vast majority. And if you put it to the fans' vote, it tends to be pretty nailed on. But players, oh my God, how embarrassing. What an embarrassment, really. And there will be some players out there who do know what they're on about, and they'll be going, that's a joke. But unfortunately, there's a lot who haven't got a bloody clue. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. What are you thinking?